Greetings. This is Butter Monkey, and I'm going to be playing an Advanced Squad Leader, my fourth on that I've posted to YouTube, for Advanced Squad Leader Scenario 36, Rachi Ridge. I was inspired to play this scenario by another person who's been posting on YouTube named Vaseline with Stu, and he's a pro Advanced Squad Leader player who does tutorials, walkthroughs on his battles, and he's posted about 5 or 6, and they're all superb. And his rules, he knows like the little nuances and the minutia that make this game great. He knows all that stuff, all the secrets. So I've learned a ton from him. I try to absorb as much as I can from the rule book, but it's pretty complex. So Rachi Ridge, I'll introduce it quickly. We'll go through the special rules, and then we'll get started as soon as possible. Leros, 12th of November 1943. At Churchill's urging, British troops of the 234th Infantry Brigade began occupying the Donaukanese Islands off the Aegean coast of Turkey immediately after the armistice with Italy. Several battalions and support units were placed on Kos and Leros to bolster the Italian garrison there, with the conquest of Rhodes the ultimate goal. The Germans were quick to react, however, recapturing Kos on the 4th of October. Then in November came their assault on Leros. Enjoying virtually total air superiority, a battalion of the 2nd Parachute Division was dropped in coordination with amphibious landings. The paratroopers' objective was the stony and fissured feature known as Rachi Ridge, which lay astride a narrow isthmus in the middle of the island. If they could hold this position, the Allied troops on Leros would be cut in two. So you have a map in front of you right now, and it shows the actual island of Leros. You can see the scale. It's not a big island at all. There's the two bays there that are Alinda Bay and Gurna Bay, and in between you can see there's a ridge. I think that's Rachi Ridge. And it was probably one of those beautiful Aegean islands, of course, and this one was just north of Rhodes a little ways, and they were going to use this island as a stepping stone to take Rhodes, because I think it had airstrips and stuff and other facilities. So anyway, the Germans moved quickly, dropped some paratroopers on there, and let's read the aftermath in history. This is what happened historically. Despite their casualties from both AA fire and landing on the rocky ground, the paratroopers repulsed the initial British assault after hours of bitter fighting. A second assault planned for that night by the British commander had to be called off even before getting underway due to the chaos and disruption ensuing from the German onslaught, a scene reminiscent of the events on Crete. At 0700 the next day, more troops and supplies were dropped into the airhead on Rachi Ridge, though again with substantial losses to AA fire. Leros' garrison, now irrevocably split in two, was slowly reduced to isolated pockets and eventually surrendered on the 16th of November. Churchill had lost his stepping stone to Rhodes. So that put a bit of a monkey wrench into the British plan to take all the Italian possessions in the Mediterranean. Okay, so quickly I'm going to talk about a few special rules. I don't want to linger too long. There is a wind going west-east. That's going to affect the drift, where the parachutes land, and it's going to affect smoke. You can't throw smoke into the wind. There's the conversion. Vassal's done a great job of conversion. This is Vassal engine I'm using, by the way. Thank you, Vassal. Vassal's done let me get rid of this image. Pardon me. Here we go. Here's the map, the desert map, and you can see it's already converted to desert. You can see the gullies. These are wadis. Some of these wadis have dark edges, which means that there's like a cliff on the edge of the wadi you have to climb out of. So you can climb out of those hexes if you have to. The ones without the dark spots, you can just kind of walk out of. It costs you 2 movement factor. There are level 3 is interesting. The British have a level A booby trap capability, and that means that if the Germans make a normal task check, anytime they make a normal task check, if they roll in an A, type A means it's 11 or 12. If they roll 11 or 12. Type B means if they roll an 11. Type C means if you roll a 12. So it just gets subtly more severe. The A is the worst. It's most severe. If they roll an 11 or 12, they take casualty reduction. So squads that land are split into 2 half squads, 2 lesser half squads, and so on. That's now also if a parachutist lands on a rough terrain like a building, or orchards, or a gully, or a swamp, and so on, they take casualty reduction. They're in trouble. They make a morale check. Now let's get to. Let's just talk about the last rules here. Okay, the British sniper target selection counter is placed on board just before German parachutes land. The German sniper counter is placed on board immediately after the British. So there is, even though the British don't actually enter the battle until the third round, that's the third round they come on the edges of the east and south, their sniper counter still is in effect, and their sniper activation number still is in effect, and it happens to be a 7, which is very good. Like, and that is supposed to represent the losses to anti-aircraft fire that the Germans take on their landing. Okay, so there's another rule. There's +2 to all entrenching attempts because of the rocky nature and the sand of the desert. I think it's just hard to dig a hole. And then this rule 6 is a bit interesting. If the Germans happen to drift off the board, if one of the squads lands off the board, they can actually decide, rather than try to get back on the board 1 hex at a time off board, that's how slow it is, 1 hex a turn, they can instead decide to take a British unit with them, and that meant they got in some trouble off board and they fought or they killed each other, or they're not in the battle anymore. And that's about it for the special rules. I'm going to get started here, and I've taken some notes and watched some videos on how parachute drops work, and hopefully I get it right. It's a bit tricky. Now, as to that, a bit of terminology here real quickly. If you look over to your right here, you'll see that I've some dispositions for the Germans. These counters, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and so on, each one of these represents a stick. That's called a stick, and each stick is like a squad, including a single man counter, so it could be a leader in it. So that each stick can hold a squad or half squad or a leader with the squad. And the leader always drops with the squad as far as I know. Now the little counter is for the support weapons. So these guys have a dismantled medium machine gun that needs to have its own parachute, and it could end up somewhere quite different than the squad that's supposed to use it. Now, so the weapons could get mixed up and whatever. It depends on the dice rolls and how the wind affects everything, how accurate we are. Now I'm going to place my counters, and the way this works is there are 5 sticks in a wing. So a wing is how many troops get dropped out of, I suppose there was a squadron of airplanes. There would, there would probably be 5 airplanes dropping these 5 guys in a row, or maybe they all jumped out of one airplane, and that's why they're kind of together in a wing. Now, I'm going to use C to represent this wing. I'm going to use H to represent this wing, and I'm going to use, now this wing's smaller because I just don't have more troops to fill it in, so I only have 3 sticks in this wing, including 4 sticks technically if you count the support weapon stick. You know what I'm going to do, actually? There's one thing I'm going to add these guys to this stick, because I'll show you in a minute why. I just quickly relabel this guy. He's L, and quickly relabel this stick as L, and I'll show you why in a moment why I did that. Okay. We can now. So I'm going to this wing. Now, when you pick a drop point, this is the first mode. I think it's in rally phase. You pick a drop point. I'm not exactly sure, but you're supposed to do all the sequences of parachute drops during certain phases in the turn. So here we go. I'm not sure exactly when you're supposed to put your initial drop, but anyway, I think it's rally phase. So C, I'm going to put these guys pretty close. I'm going to take a chance, and I'm going to, there's a lot of buildings and places to get in trouble on the map. It's 25, so whether you want to drop a squad there, well, I'm going to put one close there, and then and I'm not sure if I'm doing this right, like as smart tactically or strategically, but I want to get this ridge under control as quick as possible, get my machine gun set up, fight off the British counterattack. As simple as that. That's the mission. So I'm going to put the 2 big wings, I'm just going to put kind of in the middle, and hopefully they can avoid getting messed up. And then I'm going to take L, which is, come here you, thank you. L, I'm going to put actually on the ridge, like boom, right up here, and there I'm going to say, you guys take your chances. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, you gotta be 5 hexes from any other drop point. So that's 5 away, right? Actually that's technically 5 away, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So that's the only rule. You can pick any spot on the board, both boards, to make your drop point. Here, try for here. And now remember, the wind's going down, like it's going east. So everything's gonna be moving 2 hexes. The wind pushes it, a light breeze drifts you 2 hexes. All right. Now let's get to a couple more little things you should know about. Each one of these sticks has a morale on it. That's the morale any passengers have until your landing's done. And also there's a German sign on there and a Russian sign, meaning that the Germans dropped lower than other nationalities, and so they drifted half as far. Also, the Russians actually drifted further because they jumped out higher, right? So you just drifted farther. All right. Here we go. So the way you do this is I'm going to roll for accuracy. Now, if I roll and one of these happens to end up way at this edge, I'm going to start over again because they'll end up, half of them at least will drift off the board, and I'll be like, bummed out. So let's roll for C. Now, the way you roll for accuracy, it's 50-50. You roll 1 to 3, they've hit the mark. 4 to 6, you roll for random selection, and we'll get to that if necessary. So C, I roll one-sided die, and they did not hit their mark, so now we do random selection. You do a 50-50 to see which board they land on. To begin with, it could be either board now, and it's random. So 1 to 3 is the top board, 4 to 6 is the bottom board. So they landed somewhere on this top board. Now this is the C wing, represented by the C wing, excuse me. And so they're here, and now the way you roll for drift, and then you have to also take into mind, after you move your drift, you also move for the wind, because the wind will blow it 2 hexes east. So here we'll use this sniper counter for direction of drift, and then the white die will be distance. Now the Germans, remember, are times 5, below 5, so they're half of the white die. So here we go. C is, and you have to roll this actually for each. Oh, first we'll see where he lands on the board. Okay, pardon me. So he landed on this board. Oh, sorry. Now I take a random selection to see which hex on this board he actually landed on. Now it's 36 hexes, or 32 hexes long and 10 wide. So I got a 32-sided die here. That's the way I'm going to do it. There's other ways to do it randomly, but this is quickest. So I rolled a 13. So if I get out my thing here, and they are in row T. They're in row T, so we'll put it here to represent. They're somewhere on here. Now I rolled 10-sided to see where. 3. Interesting. Oh boy. And then, so I go 1, 2, 3, and then the 2 drift for the wind. Bang, bang. They're actually here. So what I do is I eventually will put my entire wing, the other 2, so F and G and, A and B and D and E are going to be on either side, and my direction is my pathway is along these hex spines. So we'll get to that in a minute. I'll explain. I'm going to do H, which represents wing 2 down here. H is now rolling to see if they land where they wanted to. They rolled a 3. They happen to stay there. They don't roll random selection. They actually landed where they wanted. Now L, same thing. They roll a 1. They landed where they more or less wanted. This doesn't look too bad so far. I think I'm going to accept this. I'm going to go with it. Hopefully I don't lose anybody. So let's put the rest of the sticks into the wings. So we go like this. And then we're going to roll for drift here shortly. And so you see what I'm doing here. Now we put so that's that wing. We do, of course, oh wait, sorry, that's down here. F, G, I, see how they have to put 2 on either side, and they have to go the same direction because all our planes were flying over the same way. As far as I know, again, this is the way I read the rules, the way I saw Vaseline with Stu. I think this is kind of how he did it. Now, so we leave these guys off because for now they're in their sticks. They're not actually effective. They can't shoot or anything. They're just in a way a bit helpless, and their morale right now is less. It's 7 while they're in. So here we go. Now I'm going to roll for individual drift, and the way this, I'm going to try to do this quick. Now again, you use the direction counter. I'm going to use the sniper direction counter. You roll the 2 dice, and you move divided by 2 because the Germans have half, and then the wind pushes you 2 hexes east, no matter what. So here we go. Let's just start with the K large one, and you have to do separate. Sport weapons do separate. So here we go. There's going to be quite a few doing here. Bear with me if you want. You can skip ahead, but follow along with the process if you want. So K is going to roll. You roll 2 dice. Colored is the direction. 3 and 1. That's a good roll because we're just moving 1 hex. That means, and we're going down that way. So this one is actually going into L, where L is. All right. Anyway, so now we'll roll for the support weapon, and we just keep going, 2 and 2. So it goes that way, again, divided by 1, because now that's a bad hex to be in. Oh, but the wind goes 2 down. I forgot to do the wind here. Okay, 1, 2, so that guy's actually there. Now let's roll for K. You got to remember, yeah, the wind pushes it 2 hexes east afterward. 3 and 2. So 3 is that direction, and 2 divided by 2 is 1. So K goes this way, and then the wind pushes K over here. Now L makes a roll. 3 and 6. 3 is again that direction. 6 divided by 2 is 3. 1, 2, 3. Drifts downwind. It's over there. M. 3 and 1. So that one's going up, and it's going up 2, but goes back 2 because the wind pushes it right back in this face. So that's wing is done. Right? Wait 1 second. Why is there? Oh, okay. I see. That's the small. Okay, that's the small wing. I'm thinking like, why is there only 3? Yeah, that was wing 3. Okay, this is the first wing here actually. So let's start with A up here. Let's do their turn. So here's the squad. He goes 5 and 2. So he's going this way and divided by 2. So he goes 1 and drifts down 2. Well, they're starting to get bunched up, but that's the way it goes. Now I learned a lesson there. Perhaps I should have spread them out more. Okay, so anyway, 3 and 2. This way, 2 divided by 2 is 1, so it goes 1, and the wind pushes it over here. Now B, 2 and 6, so it goes that way, divided by 3. This one goes up here, and then the wind pushes it there. Now that's lucky, it landed in an open spot. See, I'm watching that to see if they land on the crags or whatever. They take a morale check if they do. So anyway, here's C, 3 and 3, so it goes, oh, now we got to pay attention as well. There's been an Allied sniper activation number. I totally blew by that. Now, oh, sorry, this is for wind direction stuff. That's for when they do their task check. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. That's just for task check, not for drift and stuff. Okay, anyway, here's a roll for C, 1 and 5. Oh, so it goes up. 1, 2, 3, drifts back 2 to there. This one 4 and 6, it goes down 3, and then this one's going to actually 1, 2, 3, and then drifts 2. That support weapon went off in the middle of nowhere. Somebody's going to have to go get it, but anyway, D stick, and we're just moving along. Plunk, 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 plunk. Moves down 1, and then drifts 2 into those crags. So that's not good. Yeah, that's too bad. Okay. This one's 5 and 6. 5 is that way. 3, 1, 2, 3 drifts down 2. We got 3 support weapons out here in the middle of nowhere. Anyway, B. Let's see what B does. Oh, another snipe. Oh, okay, no sniper activation yet. Okay, 2 and 5. So these guys go 1, 2, 3, drift down 2 in the wadi, and then E rolls a 5, 3, so that's going 2, and then drifts down. Well, that's actually good. They can get support weapons, hopefully. So that's for wing 1 is done. Now this looks all muddled, but this is, of course, how the parachutes drifted and whatnot. So F, 5 and 5. Ooh, that's going to be 3, 1, 2, 3. Drift down 2 over here. G and so on. 2 and 4. Goes 2 divided by 2. 1, 2. Drifts down 2. Sport weapon. Ooh, good thing we're not doing. Yes. See how often your sniper activation works, eh? It's like if we were doing. Yeah, that's a good number for them. So anyway, 5 and 2. So it goes 1. And then drifts 2. Again, support weapons are drifting away on us. H, 5 and 4. 1, 2. Drifts down 2. Okay, they can grab that support weapon. Okay, so that's not too bad. Now we have to do I, because G just drifted there. Another activation number. Wow. Okay, 2 and 5. So they go 1, 2, 3, down 2. And then the last J, this is the last 5 and 2. So they go 1 and then drift 2. So that is the landing, as I think that's how it works. Now, normally, other nationalities have one final move. They can actually guide their parachute 1 hex any direction. But the Germans are not allowed to do that because they do a low drop and their parachutes weren't very good, apparently. So if they were unbroken units now, they could drift, these sticks could drift 1 hex. So they could avoid hard ground, because a few of my squads I noticed did hit rough terrain. Now the process starts with rolling the morale checks and the task checks. Now this is when the snipers are going to have fun. Yeah, and Germans are going to pay the price here, so let's get rid of that wind counter. I put the British sniper here. I guess it's whatever. It's good enough. So let's start with, excuse me, let's actually grab this wing, and what I'll do is I'll put it over here so I can actually see what's going on. Now here's B, here's C, here's A. So here's A. So these guys here. Oh wait, this actual this goes here, right? Now did A land in rough terrain? No, they didn't. So I just make a normal task check for the squad, and I think the leader's included in this task check. They make 1 task check. Now, because of the light breeze, there's a +1 to this roll, which is bad for the Germans, of course. So they're 7, because on the stick, you have to use the number on the stick, right? 7 morale. They're all 7 morale while they're floating down. So when they hit the ground, they use that 7 morale, and that's just the way it is. No leadership modifier, because he's floating down too. He's concentrating on not breaking his own legs. So here I'm going to start rolling now for this squad. Now, not 8 morale, remember, 7, and actually it's 6 because of... So these guys failed. They are now split into 2 half squads. So you go half squad, and we clone it. And then one of these drifts down 1 hex, and they don't have to make another roll. They're just split up now, and one squad drifted further, and basically that squad is spread out now. We can get rid of this counter, and we'll keep it over here just in case. And I'm just going to quickly save this. Rachi Ridge drop, I'll call it. Okay, there we go. Just wanted to save it real quick in case something glitches out or whatever. We've done a bit of work here. Don't want to lose it. So this squad now has split up. That's what happens. Okay, now B is over here, and we'll roll a task check. They are just in a wadi, so it's not a rough terrain. I'm surprised it wasn't. Gullies aren't considered rough terrain. Go figure. Task check. He failed, and that sniper kicks in. Oh, drat. So we're getting half squatted. Yeah. So one goes here, and one drifts downwind 1 hex. Boom, boom. But the sniper activated there. Now if I roll a 1 or 2, you just do a sniper check as far as I know. Okay, I'm lucky. The Germans are lucky, I should say. You have to roll a 1 or 2 for sniper to activate. So it doesn't. We move on. There's two. Now 2 squads have been broken up. Now you can combine these squads in the rally phase if you have a leader, a good order leader. He can rally those troops, bring them back, and form their squad up again. So it's not the end of the world. C squad is here again, and we have to separate. Now where's the C support weapon? Oh boy, oh, it's way down here. So this actually is down here. And these guys make their task check. Failed. Oh man, I'm just getting all half squads. And that subtly weakens them a bit, right? Unfortunately. So 1 here, and 1 drifts into the hex downwind. Done. D squad, where's D? Over here, where's D? Here's D. They landed in, oh, unfortunately, this is our first spot where we have to make a morale check instead of a task check. So here we go. Now the morale is again, use the morale on the stick. So it's 7 minus 1 because the breeze, 6s. So these guys, both these guys have to make morale check. So start with the leader, makes it, and the squad completely shits the bed. So they're broken and reduced. Oh, good start. Okay. And they're broken. Yeah. I don't think it's desperation morale though. Well, that's not, oh yeah, that light machine gun is not, it's on the support weapon shit. So, where was that? Over here. Okay, well, that's too bad. First casualties, ouch. Where's the D? Oh, there it is. Okay, so we want to put this here. There's a machine gun landed there. Yeah, that's too bad. We rolled a bad roll there, but that's the way it goes. Now we'll go to the, oh, come on, work with me here. Okay, here we go with the wing. I'll bring in, this is the other wing. F, where's F? F. Here it is, way down here. So, did they land in a bad hex? No, they did not. Let us roll their task check to see if they fail. Oh boy. I just keep... So one's there. One's there. Unfortunately, their leader can, I don't know, perhaps we can get organized there. That's too bad. That's another squad is split, but that's the way it goes. G. No, where's the G? Oh, there it is. Okay, so we can put the weapon there. Doink. So there's a support weapon there. G unit, roll their task check. Boom. Fail, of course. Oh my god, I'm just rolling like crap. Oh boy, oh boy. Okay, where's G again? Actually, G might be on a rough terrain. No, it's not. Okay, well, hallelujah. So we put one that drifted downwind and the other one is above them. Look at all these stupid half squads. Boo. Okay, H is over here. Task check. Fail again. Oh my god. This is going to be painful. All these half squads. I'm going to be spending a round or two getting... Wow, I'll have to think about that if it's worth, you know, wasting a round getting... Anyway. Oh, way over here. Task check. Now, it would be nice if you guys actually made one of these. Okay, he actually makes it. Barely. That was, I need a 6 or less. J, way down there. Fail. Wow. Yeah, so we now have half squads galore everywhere. Well done. Well frickin' done. Oh, come on, game. Quit fighting me. Sometimes you'll notice the game does not cooperate well. Oh, we got one more squad there. Okay, so E. Where's E? E is right here. E is not on any rough terrain, so it's just a task check. And hallelujah, we actually made it. So E, successfully lands. Moving along, we got K, and we got the support weapon right there. There's your machine gun. Boom. K is luckily in a soft terrain. We just have to make a task check, and of course we fail. Man, that's just pathetic. And they drift into the building hex, but that they don't have any consequences. Actually, as far as I know, they don't have to make another roll for landing on a hard hex after drifting there from a half squad. That's I don't think they have to make another roll. I'm pretty sure they don't. Okay, L, where's the L? Support weapon is on the building there, but that's okay. It's a support weapon. It can land on a building without breaking a leg. L is here. Oh, good. It's not on a rough terrain. Ugh, they fail, and the sniper's activated. I've failed way too many. That's just... I don't know if we can... and I have to do this... and you're supposed to do the sniper effect before you do that split, actually. I think you're supposed to resolve the sniper's attack first. So let's do that sniper roll. This time it hit. Oh, lucky me. Okay. Let's roll for direction and distance. 2 and 5. 2. Uh-oh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Guess who? Son of a gun. That's the nearest dude is here. Alright, now I'm going to roll selection. Top, I'll roll the officer first just to see who the sniper shot. Officer's 5. And, well, this officer might be dead. We roll now to see if he's wounded or killed. He's wounded. I think if he rolled a 5 or 6, he'd be killed. Well, we have a wounded officer. So the sniper has done some damage. And that was, and if it would have hit that other half squad that's already broken, I think it just pins them when you roll a 2 and the sniper check. I'll have to double check it, but he didn't. So anyway, let's move on. So I got a wounded officer and a half squad dead, and most of my squads are split up in a half squads. Like it's a mess. I got one more here. M. Did they land in? No, they landed in an open hex. So we make a task check, and they fail. Wow. So many failures. Okay, so they're in Y5. Wow. Okay, that was interesting to say the least. Do I have any other units? No, that's all the sticks. I landed. Now, it could have been worse, I suppose. I could have landed on more rough terrains. I managed to dodge a lot of rough terrain over here. I have a ton of half squads. I'm going to be spending some time trying to get my squads organized and grabbing weapons and moving. So that is the end of the parachuting stage for the Germans. Now, of course, if there were British around, they would have been shooting, and there would have been a defensive phase in there where they could have shot up the paratroopers and so on, and there would have been more casualties probably, but the Germans are lucky. The British are going to take a while to get here. So thanks for watching. I'm going to take a break. That was round 1. Now I'm going to begin round 2. The Germans start, and we'll see if they can consolidate and get organized in time for the British onslaught. Okay, thanks for watching, and hopefully you tune in again. Bye.